We're talking sport now, and joining us is our sports editor, Derrick Lynch. Good morning to you, sir.
Morning, Alan. How are you?
Good. You will have positivity, well, as you always do, on Sideline View Review this evening, and I'm sure there'll be plenty of focus on Clare's senior camogie side. They that close last year, but ultimately disappointment in terms of getting out of 1B of the National Camogie League, but they've managed it this time. 3-point win over Dublin in Kilkenny.
Yeah, and a deserved victory, I think it's fair to say, overall as well. And that old adage about goals winning games kind of proved true in that sense. But I thought it was a savage. We'll talk about the goals in a while, but I thought it was a savage defensive effort from Clare. I thought Sinead O'Keefe was exceptional throughout. I thought Niamh Mulqueen worked really hard in a deep line kind of a role. And if you go back to even one of the last plays of the game, Abby Walsh executed an unbelievable hook on the Dublin attacker. It went eventually out for a 45 and they put it over to put three between them, but it was just it was a savage show of heart, I thought, that particular challenge. But the goals were excellent, and I know they were soft, but at the same time you cannot beat a poacher thinking forward. Like Lorna McNamara rushed the keeper on the off chance that the ball might break for the first one, scrambled it over the line, probably more akin to Twickenham than Nolan Park maybe, but you have to be there to finish it off.
Stadium, Derrick.
Excuse me. Right. Second goal was exceptional as well, insofar as the Dublin keeper was drawn out to the left flank. Now, if I was coaching a team, you'd kill him for doing what she did and playing a ball back into the middle there. That ball has to go down the line. If it goes out over the stands, so be it. It's safe and dead. She played it back into the middle, and again, credit Lorna, she was alert and aware. She took the gamble of going for it, and I thought showed great hands as well. Like, she had to dip low with her left paw to get that ball, and then took her. Like, this is the crucial part for me when you analyse that goal. She took the ball, but she took her 4 steps first, and she broke away from the attacker, then played it on to Hurley, took another 4 steps and stuck it. A lesser player there would have played the ball first, killed their steps, killed momentum. I thought she showed a real killer instinct in the way that she finished it. And then the two substitutes combined, Ellen Casey with brilliant work, drew 2 or 3 Dublin players to her, brilliant ball across the square to Anya O'Loughlin, and she just simply doesn't miss from there. So I think deserve it from a Clare perspective. Playing into the breeze in the first half and being in touch at half time was set up brilliantly, but you still, the breeze never won anything for you. You still have to go and do it, and they did, which was great to see. And it kind of marks another step in this team's development, because maybe it was just because of Dublin being in that national sphere or whatever, but a lot of the commentary all week was about Dublin and Aisling Maher and Aisling O'Neill and these players, and now they know about Lorna McNamara, now they know about Abby Walsh and these, so they're stepping onto another level now, I think, and a really deserved victory. And
playing in 1A next year will help in terms of being in that national window or upper spotlight.
Yeah.
And obviously it'll mean stiffer quality of opposition, but it sets them up really good stead for the Munster Championship, and that comes thick and fast. Waterford next weekend, so they're going into that with real wind in their sails. They
certainly are, and I suppose Waterford can count themselves unlucky not to be 1A champions after yesterday, Galway overcoming them obviously in that decider. But you go back to last year's All-Ireland quarter-final, I think there'll be a couple of things from that game that'll have stuck in Clare's craw a little bit, and they'll want to exercise those demons. But I think, to be fair, I don't think a Munster Championship is high up on the priority list. It'd be great to get one. Obviously, I think it's 2012 since Clare's last one that came under John Carmody. But it's progression in the All-Ireland series now. And essentially, your All-Ireland group is Kilkenny plus Division 1B. Now, Clare have shown themselves to be the best team in Division 1B. You're going to be playing all those again. I think they actually played Dublin in their first championship game. So, there'll be an immediate revenge from the Dubs perspective in that one. But if you can get out of that group, get back to a quarter-final, get back to Croke Park and give it another lash there, that would be a fantastic year.
Okay, well, look, we wish them well with that, but what a great achievement, up to 1A for next year for the senior camogie side. Disappointment for the minor hurlers, though, losing out. Again, you're talking about goals win games, that old adage, and it proved to be the case here as well. 2-12 to 12-point victory for Limerick, and we've heard from Ger O'Connell speaking in the sports bulletins, not happy with the way they lost the game. What are your own reflections on it, and how difficult they need to? Obviously, they have to win against Waterford, but what are the other kind of, I suppose, machinations, if any, involved in ensuring that their championship hopes are kept alive?
Yeah, I suppose they have to beat Waterford and Cork, and I think other results may have to go their way as well.
As well as that.
Yeah, so like the way the Munster Championship works is that out of the 5 teams, 4 actually still progress to another phase of the championship. So I think it's the top 2 teams go to the final, and 3 and 4 go to the All-Ireland series, or those preliminary games there. So, so it's only the team that finishes bottom. But I suppose the problem from a Clare point of view now is you've lost 2 head-to-heads as well as the 4 points on the board. So, you could still win a game and finish level on points with a team that you've lost to and lose out in that sense. So I think they have to go and target the 4 points. So 4 should be enough to let them go. But as I say, the problem is finishing levelled in with another team that might get 4 could scupper you in the finish. But
you'd be hopeful though, if you win 2, someone else surely has only picked up 1 win out of the 4.
That would be the hope. But I suppose that's out of your hands now, because you have the 2 lost. And I suppose on the game itself, it was probably physicality that won it for Limerick. They were very, very physical around the middle third in particular, and Clare at times maybe guilty of overdoing it between the 2 65s, or and carrying into traffic where kind of got turned over, and Limerick were just that bit sharper on the finish. But you felt going in at half time with the breeze to come that Clare were in a strong enough position, and the captain Colin Daly had got a savage point just before the break, a real boomer from downtown that seemed to just give them a bit of a lift going in, but then conceded a goal that they will have regrets about, I suppose, early in the second half. And from there on, Limerick just kind of kicked on. So lots and lots of work to do. There'll be a break to come now, which is good, I suppose. And I think it's a Friday night fixture down in 6 Mile Bridge for that next game against Waterford, which will bring its own dynamic. It's a different type of pitch, it's a different type of challenge. But look, at the end of the day, they're minors. And what do we want out of minors? We want seniors. That's what you want. So there's loads of quality in that team. I don't think anybody would be overly upset if the year doesn't end with silverware. We won silverware a couple of years ago, obviously, but it's the production line. That's the real gauge of this, and that is trucking along brilliantly. And you have to remember as well, one of the most high-class forwards at this age group in the county, part of last year's squad, was Ian O'Brien, suffered a hand injury in the loss to Tipperary on the first night, and he wasn't available. And I was actually chatting to him after the game. He's not probably going to be available for another maybe 8 weeks or thereabouts. He's had surgery on that issue, so that's a loss as well. But as I say, there's plenty of talent there. Ben Talty is a guy we're going to hear a lot more about, certainly, and as I say, Colm Daly I thought was brilliant. Shawnee Kinellan from Kilmaley, another real hard grafter around that middle third, so there's plenty of guys there to shove on to the 20s next year, because that crop of 20s are now coming through to seniors. So I think that's a greater barometer of success than anything else.
Okay, and it isn't just minor hurlers want to come through at senior level. Same goes for football as well. And like the minor hurlers, the minor footballers need to win and hope that other results go their way. They'll be taking on Tipperary this evening. Yeah,
they will. And just I suppose a note for that, if anybody was
change of venue.
Yeah, change of venue. If anybody was setting the sat nav for Park Navera in Quilty, change it quickly to Clarecastle GA grounds just outside Ennishere. So that's where the game will be on tonight. That switch was made just last night, so be aware of that. And yeah, I suppose for Joe Hayes and his side, it's a difficult one, because I suppose he'll have 95% of his management team watching the game that's going on, and maybe 1 or 2 checking phones for the other results. I suppose that sets up the drama of these last nights brilliantly. But from a Clare point of view, all they can do is hope that they win. Form lines would suggest that Waterford should have enough to take Limerick, and if they do and Clare win, well then that's Clare going through, which would be brilliant. But anything else, and we'll be getting out the abacuses and all the rest of it. So there's plenty of optimism though from a Clare perspective after that win over Limerick the last night, that they can go and do that. And they seem to have found their feet a little bit. I suppose that's the beauty of these phase ones. You come into it, you don't maybe know where exactly you're standing, and then 3 rounds later you've found out that the guy that's at wing back might be better off at wing forward, and so on, so there'll be a lot of that to come. So yeah, a big night ahead for the boys. That's at 7 o'clock in Clarecastle this evening. Okay, brilliant stuff. Thank you, Derrick. I'll have all that covered on Sideline View Review this evening as well. And just to note as well, Alan, it is Championship Week. The 19th of April is a date we've had in the diary for a long time, and to kick off, I suppose, the build up to Championship, we'll have an interview with Brian Lohan this evening on Sideline View Review from 6 o'clock, looking ahead to the week, and I suppose getting an update, or hoping to get an update on the well-being or otherwise of the couple of boys that are injured and stuff like that. So tune in this evening. We'll have the thoughts of the Bonnish Door on the show. Okay, brilliant stuff, Derrick. Thank you very much.